March of 2019, a low-pressure area over the western Atlantic was picked up by the jet stream, a deadly combination that created Storm Gareth, which began to roar towards Great Britain with menacing ferocity.
When Gareth made landfall in the UK, it was gusting at 75 miles per hour. There were downed trees, power outages, and flooding.
Just over a month later, with the UK barely recovered from Gareth, another storm, Storm Hannah, struck, similar to Gareth, but with gusts up to 82 miles per hour.
Shortly after the passing of Storm Hannah, a small boat is on its way to Poole Harbor in Dorset, England, when the captain notices something on the scanner about a mile offshore.
He'd always seen a bump on the seafloor there. It had been marked on navigation charts since at least 1982. A pile of rocks is what everyone said, covered in silt, of course. But something about it seemed to have changed after the storms.
There were fish hanging around. That's what was showing up on the scanner. And if you've got an underwater structure where fish can hide, fish will come and hang around there because they feel safe. So maybe there was more to this pile of rocks than meets the eye.
A team of maritime archaeologists from the local university are summoned to the site and hit the water to investigate. At a depth of only about 32 feet, the divers find a large bump as expected, and it's no longer covered in silt.
It's a pile of rocks, but there are also these round things laying on the seafloor. They look like thick stone bowls, at least 10 of them of various sizes scattered about. What are these?
The divers bring one of the objects to the surface. It's awfully thick and heavy for a bowl. It's got what looks like a little pour spout at one point along the edge, and a couple of what might be rudimentary handles. And it looks as though it had been in the seawater for some time.
As soon as I see something like that, I think, I've got something like that in my kitchen. But it's not a bowl. What I have is a mortar and pestle used for grinding seeds and grains.
Mortar and pestle sets are readily available online and in culinary shops. Usually made of granite or marble, they typically have a smooth edge or handles, while some may have pour spouts.
But why would a bunch of mortars be here? Were they dumped, or did they fall overboard while being shipped?
It's odd that there aren't any pestles, though, the part you use to do the grinding. The only thing we can think of is lots of pestles are stone, but some are made of wood. So maybe these were all wooden. So if a shipment fell overboard, after the cardboard would have gotten soggy and dissolved, any wooden pestles would have just floated away.
The divers return to examine the other mortars, and in the process, they make another discovery.
Sticking out from under the large pile of stones are long planks of wood. These are quite large, roughly about 10 inches wide by 2 inches thick and many feet long. There seem to be around 16 of them, edge over edge. Their edges overlap like wooden siding on an old house.
Could these be the remains of an old marina or a dock or boathouse? But this is a mile offshore, and the biggest mystery would be, how would the wall of a structure like that end up 32 feet down, pinned under a pile of rocks?
Ultimately, we realize these aren't just planks. They're strakes, which are hull planks. This is the wreck of a wooden ship.
This would explain that big rock pile. These stones may have been ballast to help balance the ship and keep it stable. Modern ships often have water tanks deep in their hulls, which are used to adjust the ship's balance and make up for changes in cargo loading. But a lower-tech method is just to use rocks, which the crew then moves around by hand as necessary.
So a ship sank, broke up, and most of it floated away. But part of one side of the hull was pinned down by the ballast stones, and that's what we're seeing here.
Probing the area further, the maritime archaeologists find a stem post, the main piece of timber that goes up along the middle of a ship's bow, and a piece of floor timber.
Based on the measurements and the shape of these elements, this vessel may have been close to 80 feet long and about 24 feet wide. Quite a big, substantial ship, really. It might have carried a crew of about 20.
There is no wreck marked on the navigational charts at this spot. Only obstruction 3G, referring to the pile of rocks.
We know this ship has been here since at least 1982, because obstruction 3G was already on the charts then. But how long has this wreck really been here?
The divers locate a large stone slab that's unnaturally flat with straight edges. When they brush the silt away, another surprise is revealed.
There's a Christian cross chiseled in relief. This is a wheel-headed cross. It's a remarkable piece of stonework, impeccably handmade. You can see the chisel marks. This is a gravestone slab.
There's also a second slab right near the first one. This one's of a different design, a splayed arm cross. Both slabs are remarkably undamaged.
The slabs are too large to bring up safely. So instead, the divers bring up more of the mortars.
There are a number of designs and shapes, but all the mortars are stone. With one of them, you can clearly see fossilized fish bones in the rock, and that tells us these mortars are made of purbeck.
Purbeck is a sedimentary limestone rock that would have formed between about 140 and 150 million years ago. It's essentially fossilized snails with other vertebrate and crustacean fossils mixed in.
The Isle of Purbeck is on what's known as the Jurassic Coast, a 95-mile stretch of English coastline within the counties of Dorset and Devon, with an extensive limestone beach that's been quarried since the Iron Age.
So the pile of boulders probably wasn't just ballast. It may have been part of the ship's cargo. These boulders were all Purbeck limestone and were probably being shipped somewhere.
Purbeck marble is a rare, particularly hard variant of Purbeck stone. It can be brought to a high, luxurious polish, which made it valuable and much sought after.
While regular Purbeck limestone is still being quarried today, the more rare Purbeck marble was quarried out in about the 15th century. They essentially ran out of it. So that means the wreck must be at least 600 years old.
To get a more accurate determination of the age of the ship, a dendrochronological analysis is performed, a process that can ascertain how old a piece of wood is by matching variations in the thickness of its growth rings with historical data regarding seasonal climate changes. The results are shocking.
The trees these planks were cut from grew between the years 1242 and 1265. So this ship was built about 750 years ago.
This is the oldest English shipwreck site with any surviving hull remains. Before this one, there were no known wrecks of any seagoing ships in the UK from between the 11th and 14th centuries. So how could the wood have survived this long underwater?
Ultimately, it's probably due to the silt. When the ship went down, the heavy Purbeck stones it was carrying pinned one side of the hull deep into the silt, and the local currents likely covered it all over very soon after. The silt kept oxygen out and a lot of burrowing sea creatures away as well.
Now the presence of those grave slabs makes a lot more sense as well. Both these styles, the wheel-headed cross and the splayed arm cross, are known to have been in use in the 13th century, which fits perfectly with our estimated age of this wreck.
Researchers may be able to learn more about the wreck one day, when they remove some of the Purbeck stones and reveal what lies beneath. For now, they're focusing their energies on preserving what's there.
The whole reason it's believed this wreck has lasted 7.5 centuries underwater is that it was covered up with silt for most of that time. Now that Storms Gareth and Hannah cleared that silt away, it's very vulnerable to shipworms.
An important first step has been taken. The government has assigned the wreck the highest level of protection, acknowledging its value and the importance of preserving it. If archaeologists can one day manage to raise it and place it and its artifacts into a museum, who knows how many more centuries they might last.